Thank you for joining us at Just Be Handy. Today we're going to look at should you or would you change oil before 1,000 miles on your brand new Honda Odyssey. We're going to look at the first oil change, open up that filter, and then send an oil sample and review what the oil looks like in a brand new 2024 Honda Odyssey engine. So join us, sit back, and enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to Just Be Handy. We're going to do an oil change on this brand new Odyssey. It just hit 692 miles. We just got a little over 692 miles here, and oil life is at 90%, and I'm going to do the first oil change on this Honda Odyssey. Alright guys, just to make things easier, I got things started. The oil filter was hard to get off, and I ended up having to use a pipe wrench just to loosen it and remove 2 clips for giving me some space to move here. So as you can see, I got it to rotate. I had to use that pipe wrench. You could have used channel locks or gotten a different tool, but whatever works for you. They really had it torqued on hard at the factory. Again, this is the first oil change for this vehicle. I also have it raised from 3 points here, the other side, and the center, just so that I could videotape this better for you. You could do this on ramps. Another thing I did is I made this cutout of a gallon so I could put this under the filter and get it to drain where I want it. I do see a lot of guys have issues and put bags and stuff, but this will be used for a long time, and it's blue because I'll know it's for the Honda. Oil filters that are cross-referenced is the PL14610. It's the same size as the Honda filter, as you can see here. Another thing is I want to show you why I do the oil changes. So I'm going to get an oil sample of this vehicle at that 692 miles and show you how much debris is in the engine. I'll also cut up the OE filter and show you what's inside. Let's get to it. I have a pan that will take 6 quarts. I'll know exactly what I got out. I have different funnels. I have a 17 millimeter socket with a torque wrench set to 29 foot-pounds, and I have extra Honda gaskets that I've had from Accords and Civics I've owned in the past, so that has not changed. And again, I removed the tire just so that you guys could see a little bit better what's going on. So let's get started. So first thing you want to do is remove the dipstick and open up the fill. That way you know that you can get oil into it, and that way also it will help evacuate everything. There won't be a suction to hold the oil back. So doing that will help air get through and pull everything down. Now this engine has been warmed up, so all the debris is in suspension, and I have a clean oil pan so I can see what kind of debris will get out of it also when I filter it. Alright guys, there's the oil filter, and then there's the drain for the oil. Now you have to be careful of that heat, the exhaust pipe there. I have my sample bottle ready, and I'm going to break this open. Unfortunately, I don't have a stand right now to do that, so I'm going to break that open, get the sample bottle done, and then I'll show you it continue to evacuate. So it is a 17 millimeter socket, and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, or in this case I do have the off position on this wrench. I could put the information in the description below about the filters and everything. Alright guys, we are draining right now, and I already got the sample. As you can see there, a little bit of a mess, but should be good. And we'll just let all that oil come out. We'll give it a few minutes, and then we'll take off the oil filter while we're at it. Alright, now we're going to open up the filter. So I'm putting this underneath and then going to spin it off. Okay, and then the oil should be able to go into here, and then we could dumping it into the pan. There we go. As you could see, it caught almost everything. We have to make sure the O-ring came off with the filter, which it did right there. And now we're just going to get minimal, if anything, on the frame member. Alright guys, I got a new gasket on here, but always make sure you know where that washer is. I'm going to use the Purolator. It just has better capacity, better build. So what I'm going to do is slowly fill the filter. And put new lube on that gasket, and then put it in so we won't have a dry startup. So it's nice that the filter is pointing up, because you can definitely make sure all of it gets in there. Alright guys, as you saw before, I filled up the filter with oil, got that O-ring lubed up with fresh oil. Now I'm just going to spin it on by hand. So now it's hand tight, and then we want another 1/2 to 3/4 turn. So I'm just going to get a rag on it. That's it guys for the filter. It's not going to go any tighter. So we're set on the filter now. Alright guys, we've got that plug back in, and now we're just going to torque it up to 29 foot-pounds. There we go. That's 29 foot-pounds. 17 millimeter. Now we can start adding oil. So we've got the filter on, and we've got the new gasket with the plug on. Alright guys, now I just made sure the funnel was nice and clean. I cleaned it with carb cleaner. You could also use brake parts cleaner from the inside and the outside, and then just place that there. You want a funnel that's going to stick out for you so you don't have any mishaps pouring. And you want to definitely get a little bit more than 5 quarts in. It's about 5.7 quarts with a filter. We did fill the filter, so it's about 5.4 or 5.5 quarts to get to the full mark. I like to get my oil to the full mark, so I take my time not to overfill, but to make sure it got to the fill mark, so then I can monitor oil consumption. Alright guys, I'm going to fill it with 0W20 Kirkland oil. That's what it asks for, is 0W20. And I'll put this full brand new 5-quart bottle in, and then I have another bottle that has about 2 quarts in it that I can use for topping it off once I get it level. So it's okay to start it with the 5-quart jug in there, especially since I got the filter filled, and then it's just a matter of waiting about 5 to 10 minutes after you check everything over, and go from there. Alright guys, I got the 5 quarts in, I put the cap back on, I put the dipstick back in, and then you just want to double check that it's got oil on it, which it does. It's right about here. So it's very close to the full mark, but once we start it, let the oil flow through the engine, it's going to go entrain itself up in the top, so we'll have a better idea of how much to fill it up with. Per the manual, they want you to wait 3 minutes after shutting the engine down, or if you fill, wait 3 minutes to make sure everything went down to the pan. So we'll be doing that. Another thing is, I still have the tire off, so I can double check and make sure that there's no leaks anywhere. Alright guys, as you can see, there's no leaks from the oil filter, no leaks from the plug. We're all set to go. So this was a successful oil change. You can hear the engine is running really smooth. I'm not going to reset the oil life because I want to utilize the 2-year, 24,000 mile service intervals. This first oil change was done because there's a lot of debris in the engines, and I'm going to cut up the filter, send out the oil for analysis. One of the things I am going to do though is set the B trip meter for oil change interval that I can keep track of. So I set that to 0 now, and then A will keep track of fuel economy. This is a coffee filter on a 5-gallon bucket. It's for an industrial coffee maker. And I'm just getting all that used oil that I got out of the Honda Odyssey 2024 model year with only 692 miles on the oil. Again, this is a precaution that I take. I want to see if I get any metal shavings in this oil. I really don't know the micron filtration of this coffee filter, but I just want to see if I grab anything huge before I cut the oil filter open. It's just a 5-gallon bucket with a ratcheting strap and an oil filter, and I fill it up little by little, let the oil go through and see what we get. I just cut open that filter I took out with only 692 miles on the Honda Odyssey, and it definitely looks like it's a Fram make, Honeywell. So you could see it still had a lot of oil. I'm going to take that oil and put it into a bucket here that I have draining. You can see there's some metal shavings already. And this is all fresh cut, nothing really going on. And these are not from my cutting the filter open. These are from the engine. And then you could see here, I don't know if you can make that out. Look at all that metal shavings in there from manufacturing. We'll take this apart a little better. Look at this. Do you really want this in your engine? I don't know if you could see that better there. Do you want this in your engine for 5,000 miles? This is why I did a, an oil change here at 692 miles. Just want to get all this stuff out of the engine. Don't want it to, especially these valves, they leak with this setup. It'll go into a bypass mode and you'll get all that stuff through your engine. I really don't like these filters. Look at how much metal is in there. I've also taken the oil and put it into a big coffee filter in a 5-gallon bucket and straining it to see if I get more metal shavings just from the oil. But guys, this is why I really think you need like a 500 to 800 mile oil change, getting that stuff out of your engine. Hope that helps as to why to do this. Alright guys, this is what's on top of that coffee filter. I did let the cap here, as you can see there's still some debris in it, whether it's gasket material, aluminum and steel is still in the cap. I did have this sitting here just draining. I did not take this apart to see how much more metal components are in here, but as you can see there is quite a bit of debris in here, and I'm pretty sure some of it is aluminum, gasket material, and so on. And this is what came out of the filter. So I did send the oil sample in. I do have that. I'll be sharing it with you here in just a minute, but I just wanted you to see what's in here. Now, this isn't that bad for a brand new engine. Actually, the Subaru I had when I bought it new and did the same thing had more in it. Unfortunately, I didn't share that video at the time. But yeah, definitely you could see the glistening and all that debris in there. So I guess let me know what you think. I can run a magnet underneath this, but first I'm going to let this sit a few more days and maybe hit it with a carb cleaner or a brake parts cleaner to just get all the oil out of the paper as well, and go from there. But for right now, I just wanted you guys to see this and let me know what your thoughts are. Here's here's basically what was still on this coffee filter. I'll see if I can still find where I got these coffee filters if you're interested in doing something like this yourself. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have thought that there's this much in a brand new engine? Again, I think this is still clean as Honda has good manufacturing processes, but your thoughts, guys?
Guys, as you can see here from the oil analysis, the iron and the copper and aluminum were a little on the high side, but that's not too bad for a brand new engine. Also, the silicone and sodium are high because of um, just manufacturing processes with silicone and castings and so forth. Then we move on to the additive package. This is a really nice additive package. I think it's an Inumatsu oil, so I'll have to investigate that a little bit more and probably use it in the future. But right now I'm using the Kirkland oil, which is not a bad oil at all. But we'll take a look at this and see if we'll continue using it. But you could see the moly, boron, and so forth are high and nice. And so, in conclusion, the oil sample did look good for a brand new manufactured engine, and this is not out of the norm for a really nice, clean environment. You will find these kinds of contaminants. So, guys, just to wrap up, please give us a thumbs up, like, and join our community here at Just Be Handy, and God bless.